Sean Porter paced the cramped office, frustration gnawing at him. A former high school coach, he had taken a job at Kilpatrick Detention Center, hoping to make a difference. The faces of the young men haunted him, hardened by anger, despair etched in their eyes. These weren't athletes, they were kids lost in the system, their lives spiraling downwards. One afternoon, an idea struck him. It was a long shot, maybe even crazy. He envisioned a football team, a beacon of discipline, camaraderie, and hope in the bleak reality of juvenile detention. Porter believed in the power of sports. He'd seen it before. It could teach teamwork, resilience, and respect. More importantly, it could provide an outlet, a distraction from the streets that had led them here. He pictured these young men not as delinquents but as athletes, their energy channeled into touchdowns and tackles. It was a gamble, but Porter was willing to bet on them. Even if it meant risking his job, he knew he had to try. The proposal was met with skepticism. The warden, a stern woman with a by-the-book approach, had her doubts. The guards, hardened by years of dealing with troubled youth, scoffed. But Porter was persistent. He argued that football could instill discipline, teach these young men valuable life lessons. Finally, reluctantly, they agreed. The news spread through Kilpatrick like wildfire. A football team? Here? Tryouts were chaotic. A mix of athleticism and aggression, fueled by bravado and a desperate need for an escape. Among them stood out two figures, Willie, a natural leader hardened by life on the streets, and Kelvin, a quiet, lanky boy with surprising speed. Their rivalry was evident, a simmering tension between their respective gangs. Porter saw it, the animosity, the distrust, but he also saw potential, the raw talent that could be molded into a team. The first few weeks were rough. The team was a chaotic mess of clashing personalities and simmering rivalries. Fights broke out during practice. Plays fell apart before they began. The Mustangs, as they came to be called, were the laughingstock of the detention center. Their first game was a disaster, a humiliating defeat, the scoreboard a testament to their lack of cohesion and discipline. Porter never gave up. He pushed them harder, drilled into them the importance of teamwork, respect, and discipline. Slowly, things began to change. Willie and Kelvin, forced to work together, found a grudging respect for each other's abilities. Plays started coming together. The team began to gel, their individual talents merging into a cohesive unit. They were still losing, but the scores were closer. More importantly, the players were changing. The turning point came during a particularly grueling practice. Tempers flared, fists were thrown. Just as it seemed like the team would implode, Free, a hulking figure known for his anger, stepped in. He broke up the fight, his voice surprisingly calm but firm. "We're a team," he growled. "We fight together, not each other." From that moment on, something shifted. The Mustangs started winning. Their victories, however, were about more than just points on a scoreboard. They were victories over despair, over the circumstances that had brought these young men to Kilpatrick. The football field became a sanctuary, a place where they could escape the confines of their reality and discover a sense of purpose. The climax of their journey was the playoff final. It was a nail-biting game, a back-and-forth battle that came down to the final seconds. The Mustangs, trailing by a touchdown, dug deep, their months of hard work and newfound camaraderie pushing them forward. In a stunning upset, they pulled off a last-minute victory, securing the championship.